And now, right to your host of this House of Musicians, Barry Smith.
Hey, good evening, fine listener, and welcome to this House of Musicians radio show on Reality Radio 101. We hope you enjoy the next hour with us as we do our small part to help promote musicians, bands, and venues. Gary Labar, how are you, sir?
Well, I'm good, thank you, and I'm glad you're back safe and sound from your long vacation.
25 days, went out west. The wife and I drove out west with the bike and the trailer on the back of her car, and we just had an amazing 25 days. It was wonderful, man. It was
great. Excellent. And of course, all your listeners, of course, are glad that you're back safe and sound.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome. And I'm excited tonight, Gary, because we have just an amazing singer, songwriter, actress on the show. And folks, welcome. Please help me welcome Melanie Peterson to the show. Melanie, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm good this evening. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's great to hear. That's good. And I saw your stuff on Facebook or social media and thought it was wonderful. You have lots of YouTube videos for people to watch, which we'll put a shout out for you where people can purchase your music or go to YouTube and watch your stuff. But let's start the show off by asking you, Melanie, how you were influenced by music when you were younger. Like, did your brother have a record player? Did you listen to vinyl? Were your parents musicians? I'm curious to know how you were influenced by music and who you were listening to growing up.
Well, when I was growing up, both my parents were in medical school, and they were in a jug band in medical school. They both played guitar, and my mom was actually pregnant with me when she was on stage in this jug band. So
wow,
that was my earliest influence. And then, you know, they both kept on playing guitar all through my childhood and teen years. And though I wasn't really interested in it myself, I really enjoyed listening.
Right. And so you weren't interested in, playing guitar?
No.
Did you have another instrument that you were interested in playing?
Well, they made me take piano, and I really resented that. I was like, I could be outside playing with my friends, but I had to practice very disciplined every day for 30 minutes, and I didn't like that. And but my uncle said to me, one day you're going to be really glad that you can read music, and he was right.
Yeah, and look what's happened. So I bet you're thankful now that they put you in piano lessons now. So and do you remember who you were listening to growing up? Who your influences were?
My biggest influence was probably in my teen years when I started to get more interested in music. My late teens, like Alanis Morissette, was huge for me. A boyfriend
She's amazing.
Yeah, and my boyfriend introduced me to Joni Mitchell. So that blew my mind.
Yeah, it's both great artists. I mean, fabulous artists. Joni Mitchell's been around such a long time and such a big influence on rock and roll. And Alanis Morissette, what a powerful first album. Wow, that just hit the world with a big bang.
It sure did. And I liked all her stuff after that. Not everybody did, but I loved her style of really almost like journaling in song. You know, I loved it.
Yeah, sure.
I related to her a lot.
Absolutely. She's definitely a great musician. That's for sure. And songwriter. Absolutely. As are you. So now, do you remember maybe the first time that you played live, or when did you start? When did you start singing? At what age did you start singing? Let me start there.
Well, this is kind of funny because I was a dancer in high school and I would not sing. I was also extremely shy. So there's no way I was going to sing. And then I came to Toronto and my parents insisted that I go to college, which for some reason I didn't want to do. But I said, okay, I'll meet you halfway if I can go to a performing arts college. So I went to Sheridan, and one of the things you had to learn there was how to sing, because I went for musical theater. So that's where I learned to sing. And it was a few years after that when I picked up a guitar and started to sing live, but I was very nervous. My first show was like an open stage where I did one song, and I was shaking so bad, and I cried after. I was so scared. But people came up and said it was good, and because they did that, I kept going.
Well, that's it. Like, I'm sure a lot of artists, when they first come out on stage for the first time, or there's somebody out in the audience, and you're playing away. Yeah, I'm sure the stage fright is immense. I know for me, it was nerve wracking. I toured just around Ontario with a band, and I was like you, the front person singing and whatever. But as soon as you see them clapping and get up and dance, and they clap after the first or second song, it starts to settle down a bit.
Yeah, it does. It does. You really need that audience feedback.
You really do. You absolutely do. So where was this your first show again? Sorry, tell me again where it was.
It was just in Toronto at a place which is closed now. I can't. It was used to have open stages there. I wish I could remember what it's called. But,
open stages. Yeah, that's so. You continued to, and then after that, was it shortly after that you started playing regularly in venues?
Yeah, I got hooked, and so I started playing, as much as I could, wherever they'd have me, mostly for free.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's still a lot of artists out there doing that today for free as well. That's awesome. So here you are now. How old are you when you record your first song? Or maybe let me ask you this: how old were you when you wrote your first song?
Oh God, 20.
20. Okay.
Yeah. My dad had just passed away, and he was the musician too. He wanted to be a singer-songwriter, but he chose a very much more practical road. And so I wrote a song, my first song after he died.
Wow, that's inspiring. Absolutely. And now that's on YouTube as well. People can find that song?
They really can't.
Oh, okay.
Butterfly, it never got recorded. It's pretty basic. It's like 2 chords, very simple lyrics. I didn't really know how to play the guitar or anything. I just had to express myself. But yeah, I did. That was the first song I played out live at that very terrifying open stage as well.
So the first song you ever played live was an original?
Yes. That
is rare, because I think most bands and artists start off on stage at a young age playing cover songs. So that's impressive.
Well, that's interesting. I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's very rare for someone to come out for the first time on stage and play an original song. So good for you on that one. And hey, maybe it's never too late to record it down the road. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So now you're, let me ask you this. Did you tour Toronto, play this club scene an awful lot?
I think so. Yeah. I would say I played a couple shows every month for a while, just in the Toronto scene. And then, some music industry folks said you gotta branch out and start playing out of Toronto. So I did the Via Rail Artists on Board program, where you play your way to the West Coast and back, and to the East Coast and back. And I played shows along the way in different cities and provinces. And that was awesome.
Yeah, I bet. And were you touring were you on a bus or in a car or van?
Train. It was the train, Via Rail Artists on Board. So you get free board and food, and all you have to do is play for the audience, play for the passengers. Yeah.
That sounds like a good gig.
Oh my God, it's good. You should do it.
And so, yeah, absolutely. That'd be fun. And so I bet you learned a lot from doing that, though.
I really did, because, I went on my own the first time, and I'd started getting used to playing with a band for a while, so they became almost a security blanket for me. So I had to get used to playing solo again, and especially in front of complete strangers. So I think I really grew a lot as an artist and performer doing that.
Absolutely. And is that what you do mostly, is play as a solo act?
I don't. I prefer to work with other people. Like, I prefer playing and collaborating. So usually it's either a duo or a trio or four of us, which is basically the full band.
Yeah, it's always wonderful to have a band backing you up. Solo's good too, but it's nice to have a band backing you up. I guess it's a lot of rehearsal involved with that too, though.
That's true, and you have to work with people's schedules and making that work, but it's usually worth it.
Absolutely. And let's talk about this real quick. I know that you're also an actress. That's neat.
Yeah. Well, at Sheridan, they taught us also how to act for musical theater, and I found that was my favorite part of that whole program, was acting.
Was learning how to act. That's great.
Yeah, I did. I realized I really like musicals. And so when I left, I decided I'd do acting. And that's when I picked up the guitar too. So they've always been hand in hand, sort of the two creative energies.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that it says you're a composer and actress, and that you're known for The Boys 2019, COVID Affairs 2010, and Blacklight in 1998. How exciting is that to be doing that?
Oh yeah, and there's many more credits than that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But so you've been doing the acting stuff for a long time as well. Good for you.
Yes, but it's like the difference between the acting and the music is the acting is you sort of have to wait for someone to choose you. With the music, you can kind of get out there and choose yourself.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And which do you like doing better, do you think?
I like them both so much. It's almost the same. I hope I never have to choose between the two.
Right, absolutely. So let me ask you about your creative writing process. Do you usually write lyrics first and then put music to it, or do you use a piano or a guitar to write songs, to write melodies, and then put the lyrics to that? How do you go about writing a song usually?
Usually it's lyrics first for me.
Right. Yeah. So you're just driving along in the car and something pops in your head, and then you write it all. Start writing it down, and then figure out the melody to it later.
Yeah, it's kind of like usually it's a title first that'll pop into my head, and then I'll go home and I'll start thinking about what the story might be that leads to the title, unless it's actually a true story, in which case that's even easier. And then I'll shape the song, and then I'll think like, well, what kind of mood is this? And then I'll write the music based on that. Like, is it sad? Is it upbeat? Is it, poppy? Is it melancholy? These sort of things.
Yeah, that's a very interesting way to write songs, is with the lyrics first. Usually I will pick up a guitar and write a melody, and then put lyrics to it. But I may already have the lyrics like yourself, but a lot of times it's interesting just to write the song, and then because you don't know what melody you're going to make with it.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and I think it's cool your way too to do melody first. It just doesn't come naturally to me for some reason.
Yeah, I guess everybody's different as far as that goes when it comes to writing music. But you've definitely written some very nice songs, and like I said, I've been looking at them on YouTube and social media and whatnot. So now, what were you doing, Melanie, up till when COVID hit? I know it really brought a lot of musicians to a dead stop as far as touring and doing and playing and doing whatever, recording and all that kind of. Everybody was in a panic when all this first started, the COVID and whatnot. But what were you doing at the time? Were you acting, or were you singing and playing?
At the time, I had just finished recording my EP, We Got This. So the timing was pretty good in a sense, because all we had to do was release it. I didn't have to get into a studio or worry about that. Mm-hmm. The only problem was we weren't able to have a CD release party. We kept postponing the release, and then finally we just had to release it with an online CD party.
Yeah, and I think that happened to a lot of artists where they couldn't have a CD release party, but so well, that's interesting enough, and that just came out after it was released after COVID then started.
Well, it was released in November 2020, so that was kind of mid-COVID.
Right.
I think that was the second wave around there.
Okay, there you go. And where did you record that song?
We recorded that EP at Revolution.
Okay.
Recording, and some of it was at Mitch Girio, my producer's studio, called The Slow Cooker.
Oh, okay, cool. And do you have your band that plays with you? Do you have them come in and play the instruments on it, or do you have studio musicians?
I have a little of both.
Good.
Yeah, we have my band come in, but we also use studio musicians too, especially for strings and stuff like that. Yeah,
absolutely. Because you don't always have a string player on stage with you.
That's right.
So that's great. Yeah, and let me ask you what do you have going on like now? I know you want to talk about some stuff maybe coming up and what you have going on. Let's tell the listeners what you have going on now.
Well, right now I have we're going to be launching a fan funding campaign tomorrow for We Got This Side 2. So what we're doing is we're recording 6 more songs for We Got This, and I'm going to release it as an EP, like a companion EP to the first one. Okay. And then in about whenever it becomes financially feasible, we're going to put that on vinyl as a full album.
That's amazing. That's going to be exciting. Yeah. Definitely any artist that's, that gets their stuff put on vinyl nowadays is definitely exciting.
Yeah, it seems to be like people are really interested in vinyl again.
Yeah, I know. I have been collecting it for many, many years. Vinyl. I actually sold a few years back everything I had, but I was collecting up till then, and I sold all the vinyl because I figured I'd never use it again. And then I bought a turntable and started collecting again. So now I have tons of albums. But vinyl's fun. It seems like you can hear more of the instruments and whatnot, or it just sounds better. I don't know what it is about it, but vinyl always sounds better. So that's good for you. And I'm sure you'll have it where the album will open up and it'll have all the credits and pictures and everything on it.
Yes, that's the idea. It's going to be so fun to do that album art.
I bet. And that'll be a 10-song album, I take it.
It'll be 12.
12, good for you.
Yeah, as long as that fits. I know there's a maximum you can have, so we might have to drop one song. We'll see. Yeah,
and hopefully it won't be a tough decision.
Yeah, hopefully.
Which one do I drop? Oh no.
Yeah.
Let's do this, Melanie. You sent me 2 of your songs, and I want to play them for the listener out there. This is a song you wrote called "We Got This," and let's play this, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Sounds good.
Awesome, folks. You're listening to this House of Musicians radio show on realityradio101.com. We have Melanie Peterson on the show tonight, and this is her song, "We Got This."
If you don't care, why are you still here? If I'm not the one for you, why hold me like you do? If it's time to move along, why do we talk and talk until our voices are gone? Baby, let me say one more thing. Let me try to ease your mind, 'cause you mean the world to me, and love is not a waste of time. Baby, we got this. We got this. We got so much love it hurts. we got this. I knew it from the first. Baby, we got this. If you're waiting for me to turn and set you free, you're gonna wait a long, long time. 'Cause I want you by my side. Baby, put your suitcases down, reach over and draw the shade. 'Cause I wanna remind you now of all the love we've made. Baby, we've got this. We've got this. We've got so much love it hurts. We've got this. You knew it from the first. Baby, we got this. Step away from the door and hold me tight. 'Cause I don't wanna fight anymore. Baby, we got this. We got this. We got so much love it hurts. We got this. We knew it from the first. Baby, we got this.
Hey, welcome back, folks. We have Melanie Peterson on the show tonight, and we just heard such a beautiful song called We Got This. Melanie, welcome back. I want to ask you about this song and why you wrote it.
That's a good question. Well, actually, I could kind of tell you where I wrote it.
Okay, that'll work.
Because
Sure.
it's interesting. I was doing the Via Rail Artist on Board program, and I played a show in Edmonton at the Blackbird Cafe, which is a lovely little cafe there that features live music.
Uh-huh.
And, after the show, I had 2 days before the train came back through, and I had a hotel room, and it was storming and snowing, and I didn't know anyone in the town, so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to write a song, and I'm going to write a song in 2 days and perform it when I get to Vancouver. So I'd never done that before. Usually I write kind of slowly. I take my time. And, but I did it, and I wrote all day for 2 days, and I debuted that song in Vancouver. And when I played it, it was in a noisy coffee shop, and I played some other of my songs, and people were chatting and enjoying themselves. But once I started playing that one, everyone stopped talking.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there might be a good song here.
Yeah, good for you. That's amazing. That's awesome. I mean, that's, you get hints and clues, and that's one of them when they stop talking to listen to the song.
Yeah, it's surprising too. It throws you off at first. You're like, what?
Wait, yeah, you don't want it to be so quiet, and then all of a sudden it's quiet. Now they're listening to you, but I mean, you have a wonderful voice too, so I'm sure it was a combination of both.
Yeah.
Here's something interesting. When you left Saskatoon and moved to Toronto, your dad gave you a Gibson guitar as a parting gift, and you've been playing. You learned how to play, I believe, on that Gibson.
I did, and it's
That's
so
a crazy
funny.
story. That's great.
Yeah, he gave it to me, and I was like, what? I don't play guitar. I didn't even know that Gibson was like an amazing guitar or anything like that, right?
Right.
I was just, okay. But because I had it, I started attracting friends who were musicians who played, who'd come over and they'd teach me a chord here or a chord there, and I just got hooked.
Was it hard for you to learn? Like some people, of course, it's for some people it's really hard to learn. For others, it's a little easier. But did it take you? And I guess the secret to playing a guitar is you have to play 10 or 15 minutes every day, or something like that. 10 minutes every couple of days, just to keep moving forward. Was it hard for you to learn?
It wasn't, because it was a way to express myself. So I started writing songs immediately. Like I'd have an E minor and an A minor going back and forth, and like I'd write a song, and then I couldn't stop playing it. So I really nailed those chords, and then someone would teach me a new chord, and I'd write a new song, and or a new picking pattern, say, or a strumming pattern, and or I'd go out and see people playing, and I'd be like, ooh, and I'd try those chords, and so it was really pretty easy and natural. I didn't rush myself, and I didn't think it was ever going to be a thing. Honestly, it was just a hobby.
Wow, that's amazing. And now you play it all the time.
Yeah, I can't put it down.
That's hey, there you go. And like you say, you learn a new chord, you write a song from it. I've done that myself. Hey, what's this chord? Wow, B minor. This sounds great. And make a song from actually learning a new chord, like you said.
Yeah, it's a great way to learn how to play your chords. Because I don't know if you're the same way, but once you write a song, you kind of can't help but want to play it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. You want to play your own songs. And what a first guitar. And was that your first guitar?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Your first guitar was a Gibson. That's just too cool. And a parting gift from your dad. He must have been just ecstatic when he knew that you could play it.
He died before he knew that.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Died soon after all that, yeah. So I think on some level he does know, though.
Oh, for sure he does. Yes, absolutely. That's like I say, I'm sorry to hear that. But you have the Gibson, and you have it for the rest of your life. I
do, yeah.
So there you go. And is that what you use when you play?
Well, it doesn't have a pickup, so I often play my Taylor, but I use my Gibson for a lot of writing.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Let's talk about how you like being in the studio. I know for me, it's very exciting to go in and record a song. And also for me, I find what I wrote at home and played on the acoustic is similar to what comes out at the end of a studio production, but not exactly what I thought. Does that happen with you? Or?
Yeah, totally. It does seem to transform into something bigger and better, you know, with all the other minds involved and stuff.
It sure does. And it's exciting to go in the studio, for sure.
So exciting, yeah.
Do you like playing live better than being in the studio, or do you like being in the studio better?
Oh, gosh. I like them the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A hard question to answer because they're both so much fun.
Exactly. It's like, yeah.
What is your favorite song to play live, do you think?
Of my own songs, or?
Well, let me ask you this before I ask you that question. Do you, what's the ratio now when you go to, now you have EPs out and you're doing an album, you have a lot of songs. How many originals do you do when you're out playing?
It really, really depends. I always try to throw at least one cover in so that people could have some familiarity, like one cover per set, you know? So,
absolutely.
But, yeah, for a while there, during the live streams, I was doing all originals because I was worried that Facebook would take it down, because I'd heard that if you played covers, they took it down. But it turns out that's not true. They don't take them down. If you do covers, they only take them down if you use the recording.
Right. Gotcha. If you use the actual recording from the song, correct? Yes. Yeah. So that's good. That's good to know, because then you can play whatever, you know, a lot of songs that you like to play that aren't your own. But you've been doing lots of live streaming, haven't you? let's talk about that and how people can find you to do live streaming online.
Well, we're actually live streaming on Friday. This Friday coming up. There's a show at Annette Studios where they're going to be using 3 cameras, and they're going to be filming me and my trio, doing mostly originals, but some covers too. 8 p.m. And you just go to my Facebook page. It's Melanie Peterson Music. And like the page, so that way you'll be notified when I go live. And you can catch the show then.
That's amazing. And just tell them one more time where they could go to find that.
They could go to Melanie Peterson Music on Facebook.
There you go, Melanie Peterson Music on Facebook. Folks,
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed to listen to Melanie sing and play your songs, that's for sure. How many originals do you think you have?
Oh, good Lord. 100?
100. Do you write? Mostly for me, most of my originals are things that happen in my life, but I have recorded some songs that just pop out of nowhere that are not related to my life at all. Does that happen to you?
That happens to me as well, yeah. Those ones are kind of fun because it's like, I don't know what I'm channeling here, but let's do it.
Let's go with it and see what comes out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But writing about your life is always, and it's something that's there for you to reflect on down the road if you record it as well, writing things about your life. So that's always neat.
Yeah, it is neat to look back and be like, ooh, yeah, that's where I was at then.
Do you have a favorite song that you've recorded?
Yes, I do. It's on my latest EP. It's called Do You Want to Be Loved?
Oh, okay, cool. On your latest EP. And Do You Want to Be Loved? And that right now is your favorite song. I mean, I'm sure it changes from time to time as well.
Yeah, it does. It does. With every new project, it's like you get a new favorite.
You sure do. And that's a beauty thing about it as well, is that, you know, you can like this song the most one week and the next week like another song, or down the road like another song. But it's always the new ones you write that seem to be your favorite at the moment, especially if you go in and record them.
They really are. They're the most fun to play live too, because you've got a little bit of fear there, a little bit of excitement.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love the brand new ones. With the live streams, we always did a brand new song every time, so that got me writing a lot more.
Oh, that's good. That's a good way to do it. So every time you do a live stream, it's a song that gets you writing once a week or a couple times a week?
The live streams, we were doing like once a week sometimes, and then sometimes it would just be like once a month.
Oh, okay, yep. There you go. That's great. And then you'd start with an original song, so that's really neat.
Yeah, we'd mostly do originals because at that point I didn't know the Facebook rules. So I was like, okay, it's all originals.
But what a wonderful Facebook. I mean, what a wonderful social media platform to get your music out and whatnot. And I guess Instagram is as well. But imagine back in the day what you had to do to get your music out to people. Now you can go right around the whole world with one song on YouTube. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and we made so many more friends and fans from all over the world doing these shows that we wouldn't have made otherwise, you know?
100%. So it's the social media platforms are great for musicians, for sure. And tell me some places that you played. Like, I know you said you did the train tour out west. Like, that must have been absolutely fabulous for you to do that. And tell me some other places that you played. Have you toured outside the country?
Not really, no. Like, once I drove to California with my partner, and we played shows along the way, but they were like mostly open stages and stuff. I think you need like a paperwork for that, and I've just never been that inspired, but I will eventually. But definitely went to the East Coast, and I've played almost everywhere in Canada, and of course a lot in Ontario, Southern Ontario.
Yes, of course. Good for you. And do you have a favorite place that you played in Canada?
Honestly, I think it would be Hughes Room here in Toronto.
Really?
Yeah, I love that place. Or the Dakota here in Toronto.
Yeah, and why do you like them?
Something about the energy there, and the sound system's good, and the stage is good, the lighting's good. Like, and people go there and they know they're going to get good music.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a good setup on a stage and a good sound in a room. That's for sure.
Yeah, when you're doing your own sound, it's kind of like hit or miss, you know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it definitely is. It's always good to have somebody else that can set that stuff up, and it almost be the same way each and every time you go there. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's so reliable. So half of the stress is gone, right?
Absolutely, half the stress is gone. So now let me ask you this then, Melanie. When you're doing stuff nowadays, driving in your car, cleaning your house, who do you listen to? Who do you?
Oh, I love Casey Musgraves.
Cool.
I love her new album so much, and her older stuff as well. And I like Ed Sheeran a lot.
Yep.
I like The Weeknd's melodies. I think they're beautiful. And then, of course, I always go to the old stuff, too. Like, I'm always listening to, say, Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Gordon Lightfoot, Leonard Cohen. When I want to get deep, Bob Dylan.
Yeah, Bob Dylan when you want to get deep. There you go.
Yeah. And then when I don't want to be deep and I just want to have fun, I'll go to the current sort of poppy stuff. I love that, too.
Yeah, sure. Well, there's so much variety out there too for you to choose from. But I like the fact that you listen to Neil Young and like some of that classic stuff from back in the day. That's kind of cool.
Oh God, such great music. Such great writing.
It was great writing, great writer, and lots of great songs, definitely from Neil Young. No question about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, because I know that you are successful with what you do, and you're having a great time doing it. If you had any advice to give any upcoming musicians, what would it be?
I say continuity of practice is the secret of success. So just practice your ass off every single day. Every day, practice. Pick up your guitar, practice your songs, practice your writing. You know, you won't be in vain.
No, and nowadays the competition's really tough because with social media and the internet and whatnot, it's easy for a 10-year-old to learn a Jimmy Page lick or Joni Mitchell acoustic guitar sound, the chords and whatnot. It's so easy, so it makes it a lot more competitive because now you have these young children, 10, 15, 15 years old, 16 years old, and they're like Eddie Van Halen. It's just incredible.
Yeah. But they clearly have a gift, so good for them.
They absolutely do. Yeah, some people have to work at it a lot more than others, but there are some really amazing musicians out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, there really are.
Let's do this, Melanie. Let's play another song that you wrote. This one's called Back to You, and then I want to come back and talk to you about it.
Sounds good.
Awesome, folks. I have Melanie Peterson on the radio show this evening, this House of Musicians, and we're going to listen to Back to You by Melanie Peterson right here on Reality Radio 101.
I thought, oh my, I'm looking at a dream. First time I looked at you. One hand in your pocket, ripped blue jeans, taken in the room, and I thought, oh my God, if he comes over, I might just give him a chance. Nice to meet you, where you been? Do you wanna dance? Now I wanna feel the way that we did that night. That night, alone in a room full of strangers with stars in their eyes. But I got caught up in the concrete jungle, following the yellow moon. Wanna get back to you. We rode the Queen car east, walked along the beach. You held me close to you, but then the storm clouds came. thunder and rain, I lost my way to you. Now I wanna feel the way that we did that night. That night, alone in your arms, while the stars shone like sparks in the sky. But I got caught up in the concrete jungle, following the yellow moon. Wanna get back to you. I wanna see you in the morning when the sun comes streaming through. Wanna get back to you. When I find you, I will hold you all night long. Hold you tighter, hold you closer than anyone, and I won't let go. I got caught up in the concrete jungle, following the yellow moon. Wanna get back to you. I wanna see you in the morning when the sun comes streaming through. Wanna get back to you. Been looking for love in all the wrong faces, opening my heart in all the wrong places. Wanna get back to you. But I got caught up in the concrete jungle, following the yellow moon. Wanna get back to you. Wanna get back to you. Wanna get back to you.
Welcome back, folks, to this House of Musicians radio show. I have Melanie Peterson on the show tonight, and we just heard a song that she wrote called Back to You. It's quite an uppity song, Melanie, and Melanie, and it's just, I absolutely adore it, and I want to know how you came about to write that song.
Oh, I'm so glad that you like it. That was
Awesome.
one of the ones, yeah, it was like a title. I know it's not like that amazing of a title, Back to You, but it just hit me that I wanted to write a song with that title. And then I just sat down to kind of write the story behind it. And I did actually meet my current partner at a party, so I sort of set the scene there. And then the second verse, I put another scene of us being together. And although we did not get separated, as is told in the song, the verses are true, and I guess the choruses are fiction.
Cool, that's neat.
Yeah.
And so when did you record that?
I recorded that 2019. It's part of the We Got This EP that I released in 2020, the one that we released during COVID, and just got recording before COVID hit. Got the recording done.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was done in a studio?
Yeah, that was at Revolution Recording.
Awesome. What a great studio. You've been deemed Mary Poppins with a Broken Heart by the BBC. Tell me about that. What do you think about that?
I like it. My first two albums had a lot of songs about a relationship that went bad from my past. So they all had a positive take to a heartbreak. And I think that's why they called me Mary Poppins with a Broken Heart. And I liked having something like that because I think Mary Poppins is a nice influence. I like her positivity.
Absolutely, and what a great little a great little name for you to have. A little handle to go by. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, and I recently released a video for a song called Talespin, where we actually have Mary Poppins in it. It's a lyric video, so it's not actually the actress, but it's a drawing, and it's pretty.
Yeah, tell me a little more about Talespin, because I've seen a lot of that on social media as well.
Oh, it's just my latest lyrics video release. It's also from the We Got This EP. I've been trying to make a video for every song, so I just have one more to go. But that song was about seeing someone that you love caught up in a toxic relationship and really not being able to do anything to help them, but you just have to wait for them to figure it out, but to be there for them when they do.
Absolutely. And let's tell the folks again where they can find, I guess, right on YouTube, Melanie Peterson. You can just, they can find a lot of your music on there.
Yeah, tons of videos on there. And if they want, they could subscribe to my channel, because when I go live, I also go live there.
Good for you, and that's fabulous for everyone to tune in and see you do that. I know for me, recording songs in the studio, I always think it's something to leave behind for the children and grandchildren, something they can listen to. It's always going to be there forever. What's your thoughts on that? Do you record thinking that as well?
Yeah, not really, but
really.
That's such a great thought, and it does hit me from time to time. I do try to do it for the good of others, if at all possible, especially when I'm writing. I try to think, like, how can I do this that would be for the good of others, that somebody would hear and make them feel better, or they'd be able to relate to it or in some way. So that's kind of how I approach it, but I love the idea that it'll be there when I'm gone. That's cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. And definitely there's no doubt that with all the music videos you have and the great songs that you have, that you're an influence on, say, other upcoming female artists that want to be artists, or young girls. It's always good to see a positive, strong influence by a female singer and songwriter. So I'm sure you influence an awful lot of girls and boys too, there's no doubt.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. And like you say, it's always good to write music for others, and maybe if it helps one person, it was all worth it.
Exactly. I remember Bob Dylan says in his book, for every song he plays, he knows there's at least one person in the audience who it's for, who it'll really hit, so it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% worth it. I'm kind of going to put you on the spot here, but I always ask my artists, it's the favorite part of my show, is to ask you, tell me a crazy story that's happened to you, either on stage or on a tour bus, just off stage, whatever. A musical story, something crazy that's happened to you, something that stands out.
Oh boy, that is putting me on the spot. I can't think of anything crazy at the top of my head. Something crazy. So you haven't
fallen off the stage?
Nope, never fell off the stage.
Good for you. Because we've had a few artists on the show that fell off the stage.
That would be crazy. No, that didn't happen. Okay, yeah, one time I was playing a show. It was one of my first professional shows where I actually got paid. And I had basically laryngitis. And we desperately needed the money to pay rent. So we went and did the show. And luckily, some people in the audience already knew my songs. So they mostly did most of the singing for me.
Oh, that's kind of neat. That's really neat.
Yeah, we were like, oh, okay, that works. But it was embarrassing because there was a big producer in the audience, and I was just like, oh man, I really wanted to show him how great I was. But in the end, he came up and said, that was cooler than you being perfect, because, you really made it work.
Well, not just that, but the influence that you would have on other people to sing your songs while you're on stage singing is impressive too.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know how well those folks knew my songs until that happened.
Yeah, and then if you have a record producer coming out, or some kind of producer or something that's going to be in the audience, you want to bring those people with you all the time.
Exactly.
So they sing with you all the time. Yeah, that's good for you. there's a segment of the show I like to do, Melanie, called, well, Gary LaBar, what do you think?
Well, what do I think? Wow. I'll tell you. Melanie, beautiful voice, beautiful music for a beautiful lady. It reminds me a lot of some Alanis stuff and Taylor Swift as well, like, because it's very personal. It's about relationships that I can see, and I just think it hits home to a lot of people. So, I'm wishing Melanie the best right now that, even though COVID is not really done with or over and we're spiking here and there, she's one of the brave ladies that were out there performing and doing things. And I wish her the best to keep on doing that, and just be careful, of course, because you're going to be doing a lot of live stuff, I would assume. So, but love your stuff. It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there you go. And again, Melanie, I want to promote what you're doing. So let's tell everybody where they can find your music, and talk about the next show you have coming up, or the next live stream. Let's just touch on that one more time, because I just want everyone to go check you out.
Okay, well, you can find my music on Spotify or Apple Music, iTunes, Bandcamp. If you want to buy a digital copy, you could go to Bandcamp. And my website, melaniepeterson.ca, you can buy albums there as well. Or you can come see me live at the Annette Studios Chapel, 566 Annette Street. That's in the West End of Toronto, on Friday at 8 p.m., where I'll be doing a show. But we have limited seating because of COVID. But I'll also be live streaming that show, so you could catch it on my Facebook page, which is Melanie Peterson Music, or my YouTube page, Melanie Peterson on YouTube.
And there you have it, folks. Please check out Melanie Peterson. She's just absolutely amazing. And it's wonderful for you to be able to do a live show, and it's streamed live as well, because it gets just all those extra people.
Yeah, it gets those, and for those ones who don't want to go out, they don't miss out.
Yeah, and when things get a little, more uncomplicated, they'll come out and see you because they saw your live stream. So it's always a wonderful thing to be able to do both.
Yeah, it's really a blessing, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, what can I say, Melanie? It was an honor to have you on our show. You're pretty darn popular, and it was amazing to have you. We're going to keep following your progress, and we'll get out. And my wife loves to go to see shows, so we'll definitely get out one day and see you. We'll stay in contact, and maybe have you back on the show in a couple years and see what you've done from now till then. So thank you very much for being on the show. It's much appreciated.
It's absolutely my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
Oh, you're just a sweetheart. You're absolutely welcome. And to the listener, I say thank you for being here, and always dance and sing, and let the music bring your soul to the surface for all the world to see. Until next time, have a shuffle your feet kind of week, and good night. You've been listening to This House of Musicians on Reality Radio 101.